All right, here we are. MMA Weekly's The Lowdown. Jake Hatton and Scott Peterson with you today. Daniel Cormier in the news saying that he is looking at a possible fight with Jon Jones after his fight. So. Say it isn't so. After a fight with Stipe, which is the fight we've been all wanting to see. And Daniel Cormier came out today on Ariel Helwani's show on ESPN, and in regards to Stipe, said, I just don't know how I can beat him better than I beat him the last time. It's tough to top how I did it the last time. I do intend on beating him again. Stylistically, it's a good matchup for me. I just feel I'm a better mixed martial artist than Stipe. I knew if I was going to fight Brock, it was going to have to be him, and he deserved that. And so, boy, oh boy, but the thing is, that is not the real news, because we knew that he was going to come back. To me, the real news is right here, is that he wants to fight Jones if there is another fight after UFC 241 in Cormier's life. Right now, he's not sleeping on Miocic. He knows he has to be on point to win that fight again. But if he sticks around beyond Miocic at UFC 241 in August, Cormier sees only one other fighter in his immediate future, Jon "The Bones" Jones. Quote, "It's all I want," Cormier said on Monday. "I think when I fight Jones, I feel most complete when I'm preparing for a competition against that guy. It makes me train harder. It makes me train smarter. If I do stick around, that would be the fight that I would do it for." Jake, I'm actually kind of surprised about this. I just thought that this was like the puzzle that could not be solved for DC, and I'm surprised that he's saying that's the only other fight, that there's a possibility for this fight.
Well, I mean, DC is an ultimate competitor, from the Olympics to the UFC to bouncing around Strikeforce, everywhere else he's fought. I just find it interesting what his motivation is. I mean, what do you think his motivation is? Do you think it's his ego and he just wants revenge? Is it to secure his legacy as the greatest ever?
Of course. It's the ego. I mean, you got to have an ego in this game.
Or the payday. What's the only other biggest payday DC could have? Stipe is one of the greatest heavyweight champions we've ever seen. However, he just doesn't seem to register on the radar, through the media and the pay-per-view buys. So what's the only other option for DC to go out with the most amount of money? I think it's
a Jones fight.
Yeah.
It is a risky proposition, and also, where would he do this? The answer is down below, children. But would he do it at heavyweight? Would he do it at light heavyweight? I would have thought if he even wanted to, it would be at heavyweight. Make him come up to his world. Heavyweight is DC land. This is the land he rules. This is where he would want the fight. Wouldn't you think?
You would think, and he's probably more comfortable at that weight, not having to cut down, but you got to wonder if this is the big brother complex. I mean, Jon Jones has beat him twice. Well, technically one time, because one no contest, I believe it was 2017, that fight got taken off because of PED use. But Jones has beat him convincingly, so you got to think if you're Jon Jones, you're going into the third time. And if he doesn't have to cut weight either, you might see a stronger Jon Jones at heavyweight as well. I just don't think it matters. Light heavyweight, heavyweight.
Now, guys, we have a number there at the bottom, 702-799-9984. Call in if you want to spout out about this. Now, I would have thought there's no way he wants to go back to light heavyweight. And I would have thought heavyweight is where he would want to do this. And it's kind of a safe play for him to do that if he doesn't, because I just didn't think he would want to fight him again. But he says here, quote, "It would have to be at 205 pounds because I need to go and get that back from him."
Well, that's it. And we said it. it's ego driven. It's not. It doesn't look like it's financial. It doesn't. It
No.
looks like it's just ego driven.
He continues to say, I don't need the deck stacked in my favor. My whole life I have overcome odds. I have to get it right, and I have to get it right on the same terms. There's a fight out there, and it will be him and I again at 205 pounds. Well, that it excites me. I don't know. Does it excite the average fan? I can't see how this fight would not excite the average fan, even after 3 times. And it depends on, the last fight, a no contest. But it's hard to erase that from your memory, seeing him get beat, no contest or not.
That's what I was just going to say. In the normal fan's eyes, because there's a quick a short attention span, and in the media's eyes, everybody still looks at this like he's lost twice to Jones. So this is a third fight. So how many guys get a third shot at a title after they've lost twice? Well, since technically it's one, but I mean, I think everybody, again, you're right. They view it as this is his third fight.
Yeah. Or it technically is the third fight. But you'll know what? It's a strange world because of how this has evolved, because DC has gone back. He is the heavyweight champ. He took it from arguably the best heavyweight champ ever, Stipe Miocic. To me, he gets to write the rules at that point if he wants to go back down to light heavyweight, even though in my mind he's lost 3 times, even though technically only twice. And you can make the argument once to Jon Jones. He has that prerogative, and I think if he wins this fourth outing with Jon Jones, I think there's no doubt, and a lot of people are already counting him as one of the best ever. But I'd say if he does beat Jon Jones,
which they should. He's done some incredible things. In my eyes, I just feel he has more to lose than he does to gain here. Because if he retires, let's say he gets by a very, very tough Stipe. If he does get by Stipe, I think you can secure yourself as one of the greatest ever. However, if you lose to Jones for the third time, that's all anybody is going to remember. I just think it's super risky. But he's a competitor. I respect him for that. Shout out to DC for wanting to avenge his losses.
So fast forward to August, say he defeats Stipe, which is not going to be an easy fight for him. It's not a gimme fight whatsoever, and this is what's been on Stipe's mind ever since the loss. If he does, and then he goes back down, he still has the heavyweight title in his clutches. He doesn't lose that. But like you said, even though he doesn't lose it, if he goes back and fights Jon Jones at light heavyweight, I think it's a stain on his legacy, in my opinion.
No doubt about it. All the media and all the fight fans that I speak with, I think they all feel the same. So, again, I was a little surprised, but maybe we shouldn't be, because this is DC. I mean, he's a driven, a special, unique individual with a passion to avenge his loss here and wanting to win.
So, guys in the chat room, let us know what you think. Do you think it's a smart move? Do you think DC has a chance to pull it out? Man, I just don't see a way. In here, DC continued. If you want to get right competitively, you go back and get the one you lost, which is completely ego-driven, but I love it. You got to have ego in this game. But if I don't, trust me, I can be fine. I'm just fiercely competitive. Can he be fine? Because it doesn't sound like he's fine. It sounds like he still cannot forget this, even though he's the heavyweight champion.
I mean, again, I hope I'm a big fan as well. I would like to see the fight just for the lead up, just to get these guys on the message boards, and the comments that they're going to say, and the media that will we haven't seen any media like this since Conor and Khabib, I'm sure, but it's gonna be entertaining.
That is for sure. And in your mind, I mean, DC is being talked as one of the best already, but in my mind, the top two ever in the sport, Anderson Silva and Jon Jones, and they're both still fighting. Jon Jones, still the champ. If DC beats Jones, is that enough to dethrone one of those two as one of the GOATs, do you think? Or does it at least have them there in the conversation? Maybe that's not fair to say dethrones, but...
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. I don't know if it would dethrone, but I would certainly put him, in the argument. And if he beats him, he's going to look back at the losses and probably say, hey, it was PEDs. So he's going to have a legitimate argument. So it's going to be interesting if he wins and if he loses.
That it is. Well, guys, we're in and out, down and dirty, like we like to do it over here. The quick and easy. Anyway, guys, smash the like button and leave some comments. Who do you think is going to win if they do fight again between Jones and Cormier? And also leave a comment in the comment section. Is it a smart thing to do? And from Hatton and Peterson, this is the Lowdown. We'll catch you on the other side.